All right, so this is heavy. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. This is a special report. This may go on for an hour. There's going to be news clippings that we'll go over. We'll go over the basic news that's now breaking around the nation. I'll break the news to you now. There's a psyops underway in America. Right now, as I speak, Black Americans are receiving threatening text messages. Okay, we'll wait until a few more people get on board, and then we'll start to talk about some of the other news. Something happened again in Israel or Amsterdam.
Broke out following a soccer match. Authorities say Israeli soccer fans were ambushed and beaten. 5 of them had to be hospitalized. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
Authorities in Amsterdam launching a massive investigation after violent clashes erupted overnight between pro-Palestinian protesters and fans of an Israeli soccer team that was playing in the city.
I read in our WhatsApp group to stay at home. Why I should feel afraid in the place that I live here?
The Dutch Prime Minister condemning the attacks as anti-Semitic.
It's a terrible anti-Semitic attack, and we will not tolerate. And we will prosecute the perpetrators. And I'm deeply ashamed that it could happen in the Netherlands in 2024.
5 fans of Israeli's Maccabi Tel Aviv soccer club were hospitalized in what Amsterdam's mayor described as hit-and-run attacks. Perpetrators on scooters searching the city for Israeli supporters. Police say it comes after an incident on Wednesday when Maccabi supporters attacked a taxi and set fire to a Palestinian flag. 62 people arrested, and authorities now combing through surveillance video to identify anyone else involved. The violence erupting despite the city's ban on protesting, getting the attention of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who had offered to send military rescue planes to Amsterdam to bring those fans home. Statements from the Israeli government say the fans were attacked, quote, with unimaginable cruelty. The mother of one Maccabi fan says her son was ambushed with sticks and firecrackers, which was very scary, she says. They managed to run quickly and escaped upstairs to the hotel. She says they're scared to leave their room.
And authorities say all of the victims are out of the hospital, and most of the people who were arrested have been released.
So let's talk
the
about
Israeli
the
team
psyops.
is scheduled to play in France next week, a match the Interior Minister of France said would not be called off. Morgan Norwood,
so we're going to go ahead
ABC News,
and
New
stop
York.
this.
Including people right here in Ohio. This has caught the attention of the FBI.
And Candace Hare joins us now live outside of the FBI offices in Cleveland. Candace, what do FBI officials have to say about this?
Good morning, Danita, Dave. The FBI, they are calling these messages racist and offensive. They say they've been in contact with the Justice Department and other federal agencies about these text messages. Now, what you're about to see here, this is a look at what these messages can look like. As you see on your screen, these messages are sent from unknown numbers, and the messages begin by addressing the receiver.
Okay, so welcome to the show. How long have you guys been here? Feel free to check in. Feel free to leave a comment. How long have you known me? Stay there. We want more people on board. Hold that thought, okay? Okay, so welcome to the show. You have been selected to pick a cotton at the nearest plantation, reads the text message that was sent to Black Americans across the nation. Okay? You have been selected. Be ready at 1 p.m. Now, before you assume you know what I'm talking about or what this is, we really don't know. But it could be a psyops, even from a foreign government. Be ready at 1 p.m. sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you enter the plantation. You are in plantation group C. Good day. So let me tell you what could be the obvious, unless you don't have any intelligence whatsoever. Well, let's go ahead and listen to a few more.
By name. They go on to say, quote, "You've been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation." The messages then tell them to be ready by a certain time and to be prepared for a search once they arrive. It also includes a plantation group number they've supposedly been assigned to. One woman tells 3 News she got scared when she received this message.
I'll get spammy text messages, but nothing that inflammatory. I've never received anything that was inflammatory, but like that, racially inflammatory.
Now, a lot of you don't know where I'm going to be going with this, but as a conspiracy-minded person who isn't brainwashed by other conspiracy people, I have my own intuitive understanding of what this is, what's going on. And if you've been listening to me for some time, if you've been listening to me for more than a few weeks, if you've been listening to me for a few months, if you've been listening to me for up to a year or more, you should already know where my line of thinking is. I'm just going to tell you right now. Just listen to what I'm saying if you don't listen well. I've been saying that they are radicalizing things to have a backlash against Black Americans. And you don't know who sent this. This could be from China or Russia using data that people allow themselves freely for the whole time this internet has been up to these companies which cannot be trusted, on and on. Do you understand what I'm saying to you at this time? It's that there is so much data. I feel like I'm tripping on acid or something. There's so much data. I was joking. Somebody stopped watching. There's so much data that they have stolen that they can figure out who people are, rally them up, and then get them to do something in response. And on that note,
in a statement to 3 News, the president of the Cleveland chapter of the NAACP
there's a lot more anti-white or fearful of white rhetoric. And there definitely is a lot of people screaming that this was a white person thing. The white people elected Donald Trump, and being someone that looks white to a lot of Black males, I also don't look white really to white people. And the Puerto Rican or the Black woman who works at the Denny's said that I look Puerto Rican. So what I'm saying is my life's complicated, and I just kind of basically put on a mean mug, basically, but I'm in a softie. Basically, I don't go out looking for fights or debates right now. I'm pretty much avoiding the masses. And to be honest with you, looking at the violence that's in the news and the things that are in the news, there's a lot that we're going to talk about in another video. I'll hit stop and come back with another video. My immediate area is less insane. Immediate as in immediate mile or two. Then you get miles out, other areas, complete hell on earth, like in the same zone. And I'm psychic enough to feel the anger, the hate, the racism going in different directions. Old white guys staring at me, looking at me with suspicion in the supermarket now. Okay, and I'm trying to be like what you want me to be, Mr. Big and Strong or whatever, mentally thick skin, but you're not in my body. And so for me to be confident, which was the theme on my main channel, not this channel, men being confident in a day and age in which there's a lot trying to knock us down. When you're not in my shoes, you don't know what it's like to be what I am and be perceived as someone's racial enemy. Some radicalized or angry Black people might see me as white and attack me. And then some Hispanics may see me a certain way, especially if I don't speak Spanish. And it's difficult for me to simulate and make friends with their sister, so to speak. I've talked about that. Then white people, it's my own struggle. It's its own struggle. Then Muslims, that's its own thing. I don't speak Arabic. I just know was and nafs, and that's it. Shaitan. Just a couple of buzzwords. Let's watch.
A wave
so
of
much
racist
more
text messages hitting Black people's phones in multiple states. These messages are being reported in
I want to see more people get on board. This is the problem with having a cell phone. If you don't have a cell phone, hey, you don't get the text. There is a psychological warfare thing happening. It's not good. Okay. I don't know if I want to pour a ton of time in this. I want to cap this, but get you to understand that through the cell phones, people are being radicalized. I've been saying for weeks and months that they can brainwash people down to the zip code. And I don't know if the Black couple's watching from Saturday Market, but I gave them this channel and I told her that these things were happening and felt that they were tuning out and they were playing sexually gratuitous lyrics, mind control lyrics. And there's kids walking around that area and they like they don't So I'm saying is that there's an aspect, a demonic aspect of our society that's out there that is not wanting to take what I'm saying seriously when they're still playing up that behavior. And the cell phone addiction and the demonic music and the race baiting going on, and they're acting like they're innocent. And there's a lot of different people out there doing this. And so I'm saying is like this is happening. What I was doing was predicting the future to a person several weeks ago, saying there's going to be more increased racism to Black people. This is a psyops. So this is another sign that I'm psychic, basically. And we're going to basically, in this video, watching these videos.
States. And many of the targets
from CNN
appear to be
and then
middle
the
school,
sources.
high school, and college-age students. All of the messages following a pattern, sharing similar language, including racist rhetoric, that they had been, quote, selected to pick cotton. CNN's Gabe Cohen has the details. He's joining us right now. Tell us more of what you're learning about what they're doing about this, Gabe.
Well, Kate, first off, it looks like this is more widespread than we had expected, with people in at least 24 states now having reported receiving these messages.
This could be a psyops.
And these texts
in case I didn't mention it
not
already,
just upsetting, but
this
they are
could be
alarming.
a psyops to radicalize people and get them to respond to white people. Okay, so if they view white people electing Donald Trump, the conspiracy is hitting me now. I have to basically hit stop on this. Now that I'm think tanking this and then take this, I basically think tank on the small channel, then go to the big channel with the succinct idea in a few minutes, basically. You'll get the long-winded version, and then I'm basically going to figure it out by watching the videos here. And then
specifically target Black and brown individuals, some of them students,
this is to radicalize against whitey.
Of them children. I want to show you one of the texts. It was sent to us by a woman in New Jersey. The text has her name written at the top of it, as you can see right there, and it references picking cotton, references slave catchers and plantations, and some of the messages specifically reference President-elect Trump. Now, to be clear, the Trump campaign has told several media outlets that they had absolutely nothing to do with this. But as you can imagine, many people are really on edge in these days since the election. I want to play for you what a Colorado mother said after her 16-year-old son got one of these texts. Take a listen.
It's very tense. It's very scary for a lot of individuals. The fact that it happened the day after, Election Day, it really speaks to what I think is going on here.
Which is what? What do you think is going on here?
And the president of the NAACP put out a statement saying these messages represent an alarming increase in vile and abhorrent rhetoric from racist groups across the country who now feel emboldened to spread hate and stoke the flames of fear that many of us are feeling after Tuesday's election results. And Sarah, there are investigations underway all over the country at this point to figure out who is behind this. It does appear at least some of them, these messages, were sent out using a service called Text Now. It allows people to create phone numbers for free. That company, Text Now, tells us in a statement, we believe this is a widespread coordinated attack, and we are now working alongside our industry partners to uncover more details and continue to monitor patterns to actively block any new accounts attempting to send these messages. And the FBI is also on this. They put out a statement saying that they're aware of the messages. And Sarah, they say they're in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities. So a lot of folks are on this right now, a lot of agencies. It's not clear, though,
we know that
they have it completely shut down at this point.
Gabe Cohen,
how
thank you
organized?
so much for your
we don't know.
There. Appreciate it.
The
Could it be
FBI
Russia?
is investigating a string
China?
of racist messages
Iran?
sent to Black Americans across the U.S. This is one of the disturbing texts. I'm sorry we have to put this up on screen.
Is it a false flag to be blamed on Iran later?
You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Again, for the folks listening on the radio, I am reading quotes from this text and references executive slave catchers.
They're just going to pin this on Trump. I'm not defending Trump. This is not a defend Trump thing. This is a psyops.
Well, let's listen to
of
this.
some type to get something going.
She said it's a message that her and some of her
this is to
friends
get Black people.
received.
Now listen, pause.
And
strike a pose. This is coming. When did this happen? When did this start happening? Basically, they were talking about the Black DJs locally were talking about being scared of white people. Terrified. Just in general. What I'm saying is, and I'm not saying white people are innocent. I've been afraid too of racists. What they're portraying is like a psyops. Like they were acting, and I understand also them talking about being afraid because I sense it too, the instability locally and whatnot. there's violence. There's a lot of violence. But basically, that's why I'm into martial arts and sparring, not sparring, but wanting to find a sparring partner. And I don't have a gun. What I'm getting at is I don't have a gun to rely on. If other people have a gun, that's fine, but I don't have one to rely on. And so there is the culture of fear in which people are afraid, but they also have the benefit of community, and I don't. So what I'm really concerned for is down the line how this is going to be affecting others as people start attacking each other over race, and how are mixed race people going to be affected, people that are half black, half white. I've always been concerned for them. I met one recently, but I don't know if she cares to talk to me again after things that I said. I feel kind of bad, actually. I don't know if she's even here. I would like to talk to her, but I don't think that she's going to be emailing me. It's too bad. I'd like to warn her about these things and educate her, but she wants to talk on her terms. So I don't know if I can do that or will do that right now, at least.
So I'm like, which friends? And so she said, all of my black friends. To have somebody threaten their lives or threaten their livelihood or threaten their family's livelihood, it becomes uncomfortable. It should not be sent to any student, black, brown, blue, purple, yellow, whatever.
A Canadian phone services company tells CNN that some of the racist messages were sent by accounts on their messaging app. The company says it has disabled those accounts. And to be clear, CNN does not have a clear answer of who sent these. That is still under investigation. But Talia Jones joins us now. She received this text we showed earlier. Talia, I mean, as we were just explaining a few moments ago, people in states across the eastern half of the United States, it appears, received these text messages.
Now, before I saw this news,
and somehow
I was going to come up with the headline: cell phones, mark of the beast. I'm going to do this video on the main channel.
West, you can see it there on screen. What was your reaction when you got this message on
more states than this?
Your phone?
My first reaction was kind of like shock because,
yeah, this is the mark of the beast. Through the cell phone, they can find you, tag you, abduct you. I better get rid of my cell phone again. I don't need it.
When you see something, you're like, let me look again to make sure like I'm really seeing what I'm seeing. That's the kind of feeling I had. And then I immediately sent it to my mom and my sister in our group chat. And we were all just like, what is going on in the world? There's no way that it's 2024 and things like this are happening again. And it's just insane, like the level of disrespect that people have for other humans. It's crazy.
And they don't seem to have a grasp of what may be going on here as far as the psyops, and how like the whole thing is staged by the evil one to get us fighting. They have no idea how our technology is being weaponized. Our world is about to be turned into hell. It's just like I told you.
Just wondering, Talia, I mean, what did it feel like? I had to think that it hurt. I mean, I have to think that it hurt when you got that message. What was going through your mind? How did it feel?
So first it was shock, and then I think it was more anger than like sadness, because it's just like, who do you think you are to send these out? It became sadness when I realized that young people were getting it, like elementary schoolers and middle schoolers, who a lot of them are oblivious to what's going on. And it's like they're so innocent. And it's like, why would you want to intentionally hurt somebody that you don't even know? So it was definitely like shock, anger, and sadness all in one.
Yeah, what do you think about the timing of all this? The president, CEO of the NAACP, released a statement saying, in part, the unfortunate reality of electing a president who has
It was definitely strategically planned. I received the text at like 2 p.m. on Wednesday, so not even a full 24 hours after we got the election results. So I feel like we're going to.
And do you know anybody else who got this message?
Not personally.
This
When
video
I
is
got
going to
on
be done in
social
a few minutes
media
here.
later that day, I saw
Racist
Let me just go ahead
text
and finish what I'm
messages
doing
sent
here.
to Black Americans after the presidential election. NBC News correspondent Zinke Esamoah has the latest.
Corinne Freeman was at home with her kids on Wednesday when she got a text from a number she didn't recognize.
It was this odd, ominous feeling text message basically saying, hello, you've been selected to be a slave on a plantation and you're scheduled to get picked up at 12 a.m. on November 13th.
How did it feel when you got that text message?
Well, I was immediately disturbed.
And she's not alone. Social media sites have been flooded with people from New York to Florida who say they've gotten these racist messages. Freeman and others believe the texts may have been sparked by the current political climate.
I think that this is intentional to scare people of color, Black people, into a reality that we don't want to go back to.
The wording of the texts appear to differ. Some have misspellings, others address individuals by name. But the theme is consistent, telling recipients they've been selected to pick cotton. All of the people NBC News spoke to who got these messages are Black. Several universities confirmed their students have reported receiving the texts. Clemson says they came from numbers
this for
associated
2
with
more
online
minutes, and then
spoofing
I'm coming
sites.
back on
It
the main
remains
channel with my
unclear who is
analysis.
behind the messages. Text Now, which offers free phone numbers online, tells NBC News at least one of its accounts may be involved, writing in a statement in part, "We do not tolerate or condone the use of our service to send harassing or spam messages," adding they shut down the accounts and are working with authorities. For recipients like Corinne Freeman, the digital hate is fueling her real-world concerns.
I am overwhelmed with anxiety and fear about how I'm going to help my children make sense of the world that they have to navigate as Black children.
NBC's Zinke Esamoah with that report.
I'm going to wrap up in 60 seconds or less. The light year is a bit bright. Basically, I'm going to come back and talk about it further. I have to conclude this video, but basically the point is this. I'm experimenting with some different lighting, by the way, if you're wondering why it looks a little bit different. Basically, you've heard me talk about my concerns about false flags blamed on Muslims. You've heard me talk about my concerns about cell phones. You've heard me talk about my concerns about zip codes being targeted. You've heard me talk about my concerns about either AI, robots, foreign governments, archons, jinn, mysterious forces using the internet to turn groups against groups. You've heard me theorize about this shit over and over for 10 years, 15 years, different scenarios. I've shown videos and shit like off grid of like people driving on motorcycles and shit on the East Coast, like by the thousands, just taking over the city. And I hypothesized, what if they were hunting down women and shit, and they had like a quota and shit for some invading army? I've talked about this shit for a long ass time. So what's happening now is an obvious attempt to get some Civil War energy going on. Back on the other channel soon.